Hello, good evening. Good evening, Philippines, and good day, everyone. It's raining here, and it was so traffic. That's why I arrived very late, and we started late today. I mean tonight. By the way, this is just a continuation of our HTML topic. So we started yesterday morning, and this is a continuation. This is actually the 9th day of our web development journey, but for our HTML topic, this is just our 2nd day. By the way, we will just discuss some additional tags, common tags in HTML for tonight. And then there are actually so many HTML tags, but we will begin with those common tags, and then we will just continue. I think we will resume on January 4, 2021. That's Monday, because tomorrow is holiday, December 30. It's our it's Rizal Day, our national hero. And then on 31, of course, January 31 is the New Year's Eve. And then 1 is also holiday, and 2 is Saturday, 3 is Sunday, and we will resume on January 4. Okay, to start with, I will open first the editor that we did last time. Okay, so as you can see on your screen, that is the basic structure of an HTML document. So that's very easy to understand. Just a brief review. So again, when you are going to create an HTML document, you need to have first an HTML tag. So this is a sandwich tag. That's why there is a closing tag for HTML. And then of course, inside of your HTML tag, you should have the head and the body tags. Okay, so these are also sandwich tags. So on the head tag, you should have you could have your title tag there. So we wrote there a sample title. This is the title, just for illustration purposes. And on our body tag, we have the H1. We use the H1 tag, and then we write something here. This is the body or content of my page. Actually, this header is also part of the body. It just happened that H1 will give you a bold text, or this particular text inside the H tag. So that will be bold and large font. So that's the purpose of that. And H tag actually has from H1 to H6. Okay, so those are the different tags. So when you, let's say we specify here the H2, so this is another tag actually. Let's say this is H2, and then H3, H4, and then H5, H6. And we can save this into other file names so that we still have the backup for our first HTML document that we have created. So I will click this one and then save as, and then from here I will name this as html_02.html, and then okay, so it's now saved. So we still have the previous HTML, or the very first HTML document that we've created, so it's already backed up, just in case we need to review in the future, or I will share it to you in the future, those external files. Again, in order to open this, to test this by the way, let's finish this first. H1 to 5, and then H6. So we have headers from 1 to 6. Okay, so the larger the H tag that you have, the smaller font that you will have. Okay, so meaning to say, it becomes smaller and to smallest as these numbers become greater, or becomes greater. Okay, so if H1 is larger than H2, and H2 is larger than H3, so that's the logic of it. Okay, so actually we could see the result when we save this again, and then open it from our browser. Okay, so let's move to the browser, and we will open that particular file. Okay, so this is our browser, and we will open that particular file. Actually, I could just double click it. I will open my file explorer, or Windows Explorer in your case, and then you can just double click the file name. So I think every one of you already knows how to find the file or the HTML document that we have just created, or you have just created in your laptop or desktop. Okay, so once you double click that, right click or open with Firefox or whatever browser that you have, or in my case I will just double click it, and then now it's here. So I think you can already see on your window the changes that okay, so it appears there that this is the title, which is the H1 tag, is the largest among these 6 H tags. Okay, so on the second, it's smaller, a little bit smaller with the first one, until with H6 it's already the smallest H tag or font. Okay, so that is the concept of that. Well, anyway, you will not be using this in this kind of presentation, so this is just for demo purposes. So you can just choose among these H tags which is applicable, because sometimes I think you already know when to apply this. Let's say, for example, this is your main topic, and somewhere on your content, you have this to emphasize that that is the second topic or subtopic of this particular title, and this is another subtopic of this topic, something like that. So you can use this in the future, or as you go along with the process of doing your HTML documents, or let's say if you're going to design your web page, let's say if it's personal page, or it's a business page, or it's a group or an organization page, or something that you are planning to create in the future once you're already knowledgeable in HTML. Because even as I have said before, even if you only know HTML alone, you can already create your page. But the thing is that it's only just a static page, meaning to say, if you want to modify the content of your page, you really need to download first. If it's already on the live server or cloud server, you have to download the file, that is the source codes, the one that we are editing, and then from that source code you will modify your content. So every time, let's say for example, if you are posting every day the news updates, so it's very tasky, because you have to download the file, the source code from the server, and modify the content, the content of your page, or the content to your HTML document. Unlike if you have a dynamic page, you don't need to modify the source codes. What you need is to just log in as admin, so a sort of CMS or content management system. You just need to log in as an admin, and then you can already create the content even if you are not knowledgeable. Let's say if you are an editor, or if you are a writer. So if you are a writer, you don't need to be a technical a programmer, or should have a technical know-how in HTML, because what you do, your problem or your job is just to do the content. But if it is purely HTML, or even if you are just a writer and you are sharing blogs to your page, because you can share your blogs to your page even if you don't have this blogs plugins or applications or system. Even if you don't have a blogging system, you can still do or share on your page or through your page the write-ups. But you should have the technical know-how on how to download the source code, the .html file, and then you have to find the other tags inside it for you to be able to edit the content. So you have two problems, or you have two things that you should know. Number one, you should be knowledgeable in HTML, and secondly, of course, that is your specific job to create if let's say you are a technical writer. Okay, so again, but before I forgot, there's a question last time, if learning the basic structure HTML, the previous one that we've discussed, if how long will it take in order to learn that? Actually, as I've been saying, it depends on the learner. Okay, actually that particular topic alone could be learned even for 1 minute or 5 minutes, because that's just very simple. You will just keep on your mind that you should have the HTML tags, and then inside HTML tags you should have the head and the body. Inside the head you could specify the title, and then inside the body you could specify everything, all the contents that you want to appear here inside the body or inside the page. So that's it. So in 1 to 2 minutes, maximum of 3 minutes, you could already learn that. But it took us about 30 minutes, because we need to discuss everything, we need to explain everything that we are putting here, because on the assumption that majority of you who are watching our our live cast, our regular live cast, Monday to Friday, are not just novice, but they are not really developers or web designers. They have other professions. Some of you are accountant or junior accountants. Some of you are teachers. Some of you are students, and some of you are in medical field. So we cannot assume that all of our audience here are all IT people. That is why we need to explain one by one why we are including those tags and why we are doing those things, so that for them to understand why you should specify that and why you should not do that. So that is the reason, and that is why this is a live daily live cast, a free daily live tutorial actually, because although there are topics here that are so easy, but not to many of you. Okay, so if you are already knowledgeable or so much knowledgeable with this, good thing for you, because you don't need to undergo with or to join with this HTML topics, because in the future we also have other topics like CSS, JavaScript, and even the very first one that I have demonstrated. You can study that already. On the first part, I summarized everything. That is actually what you need to understand, to do and understand as your capital, as your foundation. To I'm not saying that that is that is everything that you need, and then you don't need to study further. What I'm saying is that that's the best foundation and idea or knowledge that you need for you to go farther with your knowledge in web development, because again there are so many software technologies today, and it is being updated from time to time, even monthly or semi-annual or annually. So there are so many software technologies, especially frameworks. But again, if you understand the basic foundation, the core knowledge, even if these frameworks or in the future there will be many frameworks, if you understand the core knowledge or the core foundation, you will not be lost, and you will be confident enough. If you want, I'm not saying that you have to study all the frameworks. Okay, so what I'm saying is that as the need arises, whatever framework that you will take up in the future, or let's say if you have a better, I mean a good opportunity, or let's say if you are doing with a project that needs a particular software technology or framework, then you will not be you will be confident that you can do that, if not so easily, but surely if you diligently research for that and understand the new framework, and then you will be good at it and you could do the project. Because this is what I'm always saying with my mentees and students before, when I was teaching a lot of my hours after office, because this time I'm just doing it for part time and only during my free time. I'm always telling them, because they ask me, sir, what's really the formula to become a good programmer or developer? In my observation and in my personal experience, it is about the familiarity plus logic. Every one of us has our common sense and logic. So that is a human intelligence, and that is a gift to us from God. But aside from the logic, or the way you analyze things, you also need to be familiar with something, with tool, in our case with a programming language or software technology. So that is the formula. The familiarity plus logic will give you the your rating on how you perform in web development, and how are you going to finish a particular project. And I think even in other endeavors, that's also applicable. Let's say if you're a lawyer, so if you have a good logic, if you are a good analysis, it should be supported by your knowledge in legal aspects. You should understand the different RAs, Republic Acts, or let's say laws in general term. So you should be well versed with that, so that you can apply your logic into that. Okay, so that's my philosophy with programming, or if you want to master something, okay, or if you want to become better for something. Okay, so going back here, this is the presentation of that. Okay, so let's go back to our source code to add some more common tags. Okay, so from here, aside from this, we could also add, let's say, a paragraph. Okay, usually they use lorem ipsum, something like that. And I think the good example is, let's say for example, let's replace this one with Peter Piper picked. That's a good, that's my favorite tongue twister. Okay, so let's say for example, if I write here, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, and then on the next line, or let's say on the next sentence, okay, let's make it a paragraph form first. A peck of pickled peppers, peck of Peter Piper picked. Peter Piper picked. Okay, if Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Okay, so I'm not just sure if that I still remember it, if I still remember it right. Okay, so again, Peter. Okay, so let us see. Let us save this one and go back to the browser. Okay, so let us refresh the page. Okay, so that's how it looks. Peter Piper. So even if we put or if we put line break, or if we move it to the next line, still it is one liner. Okay, so how do we do that? So another tag that we could use for that is the BR. Even if we put this, let's say, on this format, okay, something like this. Yeah. And then let us save this again, and if we refresh the page, by the way, here's the code. Okay, so here's the code, and if we save that, and if we try to go back to the browser and refresh the page, see, so there is no changes, although we put it on the next line. So again, you need the BR. Okay, so let's go back to the source code, and I will put the BR for break. BR. Okay, So BR for this one, and this one. Okay, and then let us see. Let's try to save this again and go back to our page, and then refresh this one. See, so we now have this. Peter Piper picks a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picks a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers? Peter Piper picked. So that's it. And then if we want to put, let's say, some emphasis, let's say if we want to make this bold, this word Peter Piper, the names of Peter Piper, and then we need to specify, to put the tag for B tag for making it bold. Okay, so let's go back to the source code. Okay, so from here we will add the B for bold. Okay, so this is also sandwich tag, and you have to close this to the last letter that you want to include, okay, for your bold font, okay, or bold letters. The same thing here. Let's say instead of bold for this one, let's make this italicized. Okay, so that's I. Okay, and /I. Okay, and we could also use let's say the title of this is Peter Piper. You could put here, let's say, Peter Piper, Peter Piper, and instead of bold, let's make this underlined. Okay, underlined, and let's put another BR here. Oops, BR, and one more BR to have a single space. Okay, single line space. Okay, save this, and then let's go back to the browser and let's try to run this again. See, so we have this underlined title, Peter Piper Peter Piper, and we have this bold letters for Peter Piper. Here, italicized Peter Piper. So those are common and basic tags. Okay. So what else could we add? What about if we want to put that on the center or at the center? Okay, if we want to put this at the center, okay, so this is our Peter Piper picked, and we want to put Peter Piper from here, or everything. We want to put these things at the middle. Okay, so in order to do that, okay, let's go back to the source code. In order to do that, you will simply add a center tag. Okay, so if that is your target, from here, okay, from here up to, so here is your closing tag here, then /center. Okay, we can indent this. Okay, so from this title, Peter Piper, up to this line, that will be placed at the center of the page or the body. Okay, so let us save this. Okay, once it is saved, you can just refresh the browser. So let's go back to the browser. Okay, and when I refresh this one, see, so we have here the Peter Piper. I think we can make this larger. Okay, so even if, so we're not going to use H tag to make this larger font. Okay, we could use the font tag. Okay, we have the font tag. So from here, either here or inside the center. So let's say, for example, if we will use the same font size. By the way, let's go back to the editor. Okay, so you can put the font tag from here and then close after the center. So if you start it prior to the center tag, you must close it after the slash center tag. Okay, but I think it's better if we will just put it here. So you just write font and then the closing tag for your font. So that's the basic tag of that. And then I think we could also indent this and this one. Although there is no effect to our output if we indent this, but again, the purpose of that is to organize the thought or the flow of your tags. So it means you will easily understand that everything inside this center tag will be placed at the center or at the middle, and everything inside this font tag will take effect for all the things inside of it. Okay, so again, from the font tag, there is one attribute of the font tag is the size, so you can specify the size. Let's say if we use 12px for pixels. Okay, so let us try. Save that and then go to the browser and then refresh the page, or Control R F5, or click the refresh or reload. See, so that is the 12 pixels. Okay, so it's now more readable, aside from zooming in, because if you zoom it in, it will become larger, like this one, Control plus, but the actual size of that, something like this. But if you do the zooming in or the zoom in, you're not actually changing the actual font size. If you print this one, you're just if you zoom in, you're just what do you call this? You are just zooming in the content to make it larger, but not the actual size. Okay, that is just for viewing purposes, for you to be able to see the larger font. But if you change that on the font tag, it means that you are actually changing the size of it. So if you're going to print, because you could also print this, if you're going to print this one, that will give you the actual size, which is the 12 pixels or the 12px. Okay, so that's how it works. So again, if you want to, let's say, make this title larger than this one, then you will need some or a little bit manipulation, okay, or modification. So how do you do that? Let's say this is larger than this actual content. So how are we going to do? So aside from using the H tags, you could also use the font tag to change the size and other fonts, other attributes of the font, or concerning about the font. Okay, so where are we now? Let's go back to the source code, and then let us now try to do what we are planning. So instead of that, meaning to say, this font size 12px is only applicable from this part. Okay, not with Peter Piper as the title. So meaning to say, we could also specify from here, and then the closing tag, we will close this one here. Okay, please observe carefully that we have now two font tags. The first font tag, this one, started before the U or underline tag. So that is why after the closing tag of the underline tag will come, or you will specify the slash font. Okay, so again, here's the U, here's the U, here is the opening tag for font, and here is the closing. Okay, this one has no, this is not a sandwich tag. So these are two BRs, meaning two line breaks. Okay, and then if you want to make this larger, then you can specify, let's say 14px, so that will become larger than this content. Okay, so let us save this one again, and let's go back to the browser. Okay, and let us refresh or reload the browser. So I think is there changes? Not so. So we will make 610px to really check if this will take effect, or this will become larger. Okay, save that. Let's go back to the editor. So this is the changes that I have done. I just made it from 14 to 16px. Okay, for us to be able to see if there is really changes. Okay. Okay, going back to the browser, and then reload or refresh. So probably the 12px is already the larger, so we will make this smaller, and then we will retain this for that 12px. Okay, let's go back again to the editor. Okay, so from here, I think this is already the maximum. Okay, and let us make this, let's say, smaller. Let's say 8px. Okay, save, and then let us go back to the browser and try to reload this one. It's not taking effect anymore. Maybe 8 is already the largest. What happened for a moment? Okay, let us check again the code. Opening tag for font size. Maybe 8 is already the largest. So let's try 4px. No, 8px and then 4px. Okay, save, and let's go back to the browser. So 8px or 7px is already the maximum. That's why if we specified larger than that, it's always the font size, because that's already the maximum. Okay, so let's make this, I think, 6px. Let's go back to our source code, and then let's make this 6 so that it's not so small. Save, and then go back to the browser and refresh or reload. See, so I think this one is better. Okay, so that is how it is being done. Okay, so we have the center, we have the bold, italicized, and I think let us also try to, let's say, change the background color of the body. Okay, so in order to do that, okay, let's go back to our editor. For you to be able to do that, you will just specify another or an attribute or property of the body, which is BG color. BG color, and then you can just specify any color or the hexadecimal value of its color, especially if it's a combination of different colors or blended colors. So to make it simple for now, we can specify BG color, and you can just use any color. I think not black because our font color is already black, so probably we could use other BG color for testing purposes. What do you think is good for black font? Maybe blue, or let's try color blue. So if I change that into blue, let's see what will happen. Go back to the page and reload. No, not good. Okay, so let's change that. Okay, instead of blue, I think we need light color. Let's say gray or light gray. Is there light gray or light blue? Okay, so light blue, and then save. Go back to the page and reload or refresh. I think this one is better. So you can specify any BG color. It could be a combination of numbers and letters for hexadecimal value, so, or a combination of colors. So it depends on you. You can actually this is what I'm saying for the combination of numbers and letters. I think F for black and 00, I think let us try or test. So let's go back to the source code, and then let's say for example we use this one. This is what I'm saying. Sharp, it start with hashtag or number sign, and then let's say for example FFF, six digits. Okay, let's try to experiment. Although there is a way on how to know this. Let's say if you have a Photoshop, or actually even in the internet you can search for the RGB, for the RGB color equivalence, so that you could I'm using GIMP, okay, because this is Linux. So by the way, let's try this one. If this is black or white. Let us see. Let's go back to the page and refresh. So it's white. I think black is 00. But if we put black, or if we make the background color as black, then we cannot read these things. But let us try. Okay, so here let's say 00, 6 zeros, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then save, and then fade. Okay, and then refresh. See, so you cannot read anything, but if you try to highlight that, you could read or see the content. So it should not be like that, because many users will not know that that is how you did it or how you made it. So that's not good. But by the way, that is just for testing purposes. Okay, so let's try another combinations. Let's say 00, and then AAA. Let's try that one. If what color is that? Although again, there is a specific way on how to know if what combination of colors of this equivalence that you want to use. Actually, you can search that through Google, and then you will find if what color is that, or the equivalence of that in this format. Okay, or you can use Photoshop to make it exact. Okay, but again, this is just for testing purposes because we cannot memorize all those combinations of alphanumeric to come up with the color. Okay, so let's save this one, and then okay, this one, I mean this one, so 00A. Okay, and then let's go back to the browser after we save that and then reload. So that is color blue. Okay, so let's just for now specify the, let's say, the light blue. Light blue. Okay, and try to save this one, and then go back to the browser and refresh. Okay, by the way, there is also one clarification. Again, this is HTML scripting is just a client side scripting, meaning to say, for as long as you have a browser and an editor, you can do your HTML scripting. Okay, and then you can copy as it is and save it to your local drive or local computer or desktop or PC if you're using PC or laptop, and then you just double click the file, but you have to see to it that the extension, the file type is HTML. It should be .html. In my case, as you can see on your browser, that's html_02.html, and I saved that on my folder var www.html. That's because this is Linux. In your case, probably that's somewhere on your drive. Let's say drive D, drive C, documents, something like that, and wherever, even if you save it to your desktop or anywhere on your computer, you can save it. There is no virtual path or directory required. You can save it anywhere. Just organize your files and double click after you save it as HTML. Again, you must see to it that the extension name of it is HTML, to see to it that it's really an HTML document. Okay, so that when you double click, it will open to the browser, to your default browser, be it Firefox, Safari, or Opera, Google, Chrome, Microsoft Edge, or whatever, and then it will show you the result of your HTML document. So that's how it works. So you don't need, again, to install anything. Okay, because actually when you install, let's say, Microsoft Windows, automatic that you have already Microsoft Edge. If I install Linux, in my case I installed Ubuntu, automatic there is a Firefox, and then I just downloaded other browser. Okay, so what else? I think that's all for now, and before I end this discussion or session for tonight, I will let you first check the HTML document that we have created today or tonight, so that you could review it and study carefully. Actually, those are just the beginning of our HTML tags. We still have a lot of tags to be discussed that would be very useful for you to be able to create your page. Actually, it's not just about creating your personal page. Even if, let's say, if you want to publish anything to your website, because let's say in the future, actually, for you to have an actual website, you need two things. One, you should have the domain name. So your domain name is like facebook.com, so www.facebook.com, or let's say www.tonyregondola.com or .ph, or whatever domain name that you want to acquire. So there are a lot of DNS or domain name source provider or providers, and you can just acquire it from them, and it will depend on the name or the if it's .com.ph, so the amount will depend on it. But it's cheaper if you will acquire for, let's say, 3 years or 1 year. But anyway, I'm just sharing it with you so that if you're planning to have your website, number one, you should have the domain name. Second, you should have the web host, because your web host is like your computer at on the cloud, where you're going to park your let's say this document. You will put it there, and then so that it will be accessible anywhere. And that web host has its public IP, because the public IP is the one accessible anywhere for as long as there is an internet access. But why do you need a domain name? Because the domain name is easy to recall. Okay, let's say www.facebook.com. So you don't need to memorize the public IP of the Facebook if you want to access it. Just remember the word Facebook. The same thing if you have, let's say, if I have www.tonyregondola.com. So I don't need to memorize, or you don't need to memorize if you want to visit my website, the public IP behind it, because it is already masked. It has already the domain name. Okay, so that's how it works. Okay, but again, before you do that, you have to at least finish the HTML tag sessions, our daily live tutorial for HTML, because after HTML we will also discuss other topics in web development. But this is very important that you understand, because this alone could already you could already create your own page, be it your personal page, a business page, or an advocacy page, or blogging, or for your blogging purposes, whatever. Okay, so again, that's all for now, and I will show you again the source code so that you could review it. Okay.
What they do
Okay, that's all for now. Happy holidays and happy new year to all.